right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here back in Las Vegas, Nevada. Out here with MT Motorsports. Here with the man himself that built this car. Can you give us a little list of what happened with this car and I guess the process?
Well, obviously, we've been talking for 4+ years doing this job for you, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was all kind of like a pipe dream, I think. And we were in the works of trying to get things done and figured out. Cams were always on the list of things to do, but the problem is the tuning was never there.
Yeah.
You know, tuning had to come up, and so tuning wasn't available or at the option of at that point yet. So we had to make sure that we had tuning first. I already had everything else figured out, springs, valves, all that stuff. But as you know, development
Yeah.
has to take time. And so we got things developed, and
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I think what we thought was a pipe dream became a reality, and I think you kind of envisioned it with what I was looking at too.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, it's just we had to find a good starting point, and so ultimately, you had a good car, you had a good base. We tested everything, as you know. We checked compression, leak down. As long as the motor was healthy,
Yeah.
then we continued the build, and to speed up the process, we did a spare set of heads,
Yeah.
so we didn't have to wait for the downtime.
Even more, yeah.
Correct. So obviously, I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, what do you think? I mean, coming from a pipe dream to to reality for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. I just remember like all these talks about like, like oh, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, and then like now being in the present, like it's really cool having to have that dream and actually having to do it now. And like I already know I just did this, but like now I just want more. Like I already know what I want next,
Get ready to move
And
forward.
I know like with you, like with me, I'm like you're gonna help me out, and I'm gonna
Nice.
keep trying to do it, make this car better. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I think we've proven a lot of people wrong. I think a lot of people are saying the 3.8 platform, or hell, the Genesis Coupe platform was dead.
Yeah.
You know, and I proved that wrong. It was the fact that for good customers, obviously like yourself, a great friend,
Yeah.
actually willing to supply and hey, Travis, can we do this? Can we make this happen? Yeah. If the market is there and people want it,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to help support it. And I think that really starts to push that market. But the biggest thing is people were like cost, money. What it's
Yeah.
going to take budget wise.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? How can they cut corners? And obviously, you didn't cut corners.
Yeah,
And I'm
no.
not a cut corner kind of person.
Yeah, I really didn't want to cut corners. I told them, I'm like, bro, I want to push this car to like aggressive, push it to the limit. And, like, I don't want to cut corners, make sure everything is safe. That's why I did the making sure the oil, because I know oil starvation in the cars is a problem. I've already blown two two motors. Like I blew it when I was stock. I was 19. I was beating on the car. So yeah, I knew that was gonna be a problem. I'm gonna fix the oil, and just like take those, I guess, safety measures and steps.
The preventative
towards it.
maintenance is what we call it.
Yeah.
The preventative maintenance. But no, it's just it's one of those things I tell people. If you take care of it, it will take care of you. Yes, Honda didn't do very well. We already know that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. But that's the reason where I come into play is the fact that I'm trying to make that thing better. Besides the fact of just being cylinder heads from Hyundai, that's the only thing that's Hyundai left in those heads.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean, between everything we've changed and replaced in those heads, between cam caps and hardware for the cam caps. I mean, that's
Yeah.
about the only thing original Hyundai in those heads now. So
Yeah.
it just gives you an idea that we literally did the full works on that headset.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest funny part is that the thing to take away is the fact that people look at like the VQ. The Genesis 3.8 always gets compared to the VQ. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter 3.5,
literally.
the 350, the 370. It always does. It always gets compared to that. And everybody's like, oh, well, the VQ gets more love. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's more of them. It
Yeah.
had a higher demand, a higher market. There's a lot more aftermarket support for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And tuning alone was they were already in advance of us for Ecutech and all the different tuning options they
Yeah.
have for just their stuff. We didn't have that option, and so here we are, and we already created cams, and it's already made me want to go further because of what we did to yours.
Yeah.
Technically, what I did for yours was what we'd call like a stage 3 cam. I have like a stage 1 and a stage 2. You got your stage 1 just a little bit of, above a factory.
Yeah.
Stage 2 like your mid range, and stage 3 is like, hey, I want everything. And I
Yeah.
think we just proven that I want everything, made everything at
Yeah.
75 or 7,700 RPM,
Mhm.
and you were still making peak horsepower. I mean, what's that tell you? I mean, literally,
Yeah.
these
Oh.
motors thrive.
Yeah, like I know with my friends we said this all the time. Like Hyundai just created this motor. Like, oh yeah, it's shit, but like we're gonna do it. But like for the amount of time, I guess they kind of like built it, and then like you said, the VQs, they've been doing that motor for like 10 years or so,
Correct.
perfectionizing it and stuff like that. And then I was trying to work with this Hyundai motor. I feel like for the amount of time we have, I guess, progressed a lot.
And that's
You
the
know?
thing is, I mean, you got to think in the VQ market, right? How many companies, how many businesses, how many people are actually involved in that market? It's
Yeah, a lot.
huge. It's
A lot.
astronomical. I mean, you got AMS, one of the top big companies
Yeah.
that are behind it, and especially the new 400 or the Z, if you will. They're already behind all that motor. The VR30 DDTT. I mean, all these different motors, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's there's a lot of available market for that. But
Yeah.
in the Hyundai scene, you just don't see a lot of it. You know, you have very few, seldom people you can select or choose from, or you just have to go solo and find it out yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the reason why I've done it, to make things more affordable. And I don't like seeing where the KTM market first started when I got in the market. And so I had my cars, and I have a BK2, I have a 13, and I got that in 2012. And
Yeah.
so the market was very slim. I was on the first group buy kit for the turbo kit, you
Yeah.
know, because I did the whole NA thing, and I'm like, okay, that was fun, but not enough. You know, I want more. And so
Yeah.
guess what? Boosted. And then so of course I boost the motor. Then guess what? I blow the motor. And then so I have to rebuild the motor. So it's like, but it was trial and error. So yeah, I blew the motor on my own percents. I know what I did. I turned it up. I wanted to see what the limit was going to be. I found out. But I found out thankfully that I didn't have to window my motor, so I got to reuse my motor. So I rebuilt it.
Yeah.
But it's just things like that. But I had to do all that. I had to figure out what I was going to do for parts, because what was on the market it's unattainable. You
Yeah.
literally have to have GTR money for not a GTR.
really.
You know,
Yeah.
they didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think what we've done is we've made waves, and I think it's funny because I haven't even talked to you even offline about this, but I think I'm already looking at a stage 4 cam package.
Okay.
So we'll see what that
We'll see.
entails. We'll see what that entails.
Shit, I don't know, man.
Stage 4 cam profile is gonna need a short block built motor, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the plan next, bro. Like I told you, like I want fully built and nitrous. I don't know. I still want to keep it NA. I like the sound of the NA, so that's my goal. Just fully built, max that out, and do what type of nitrous shot we do on it. But
I'm
you
I'm
know.
always down for it, and like I said, it's just
Yeah.
the biggest thing is there was no reliability behind it, and you're still gonna have a drawback to anything Hyundai factory.
Yeah.
We're still seeing it to this day. You know, anything you get brand new from Hyundai doesn't, just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's good. It's legitimate. It's not the best of the best. You know, there's brand new stuff that always falls apart, and so it's just one of those things. You just have to take the time, but you have to do it right.
Yeah.
And I think this was something. Yeah, you gave me the time. I think we knocked it out of the park. Honestly, I really think
Yeah.
we did. I mean, I think I surpassed your goal of what you originally wanted.
Yeah.
And I
for
even
sure.
I even drew down the numbers
Yeah,
to let you
even-
find out the first
Yeah.
way.
I was happy with the numbers he gave me at first. I was like, damn, that's a lot. But then later, like I think the next day,
Yeah.
you gave me another like 15 more, and I was like, I don't know. I was surprised both of the times. I was happy with both numbers, but just 74 wheel,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
And the funniest part is Oscar's like, you didn't tell me that. I says, well, wait a minute. That's not how you asked me. He says, I want to make at least 60. And all I
Yeah.
said is, you got that. So he assumed the number was exactly 60. He never asked what the actual true number was of what he gained. But he says, all I wanted to do was do all this to be able to make 60. And I said,
Yeah.
yeah, you got that. That's exactly what I told him. And
Yeah.
then so he's like, cool, I made 60. And he was happy. And so then I sent him the video of the dyno. And he was like, no fucking way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know? And so he realized that there was more in it that we got out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, there was no stone unturned with that motor and everything that we did with it. I mean, we literally took it from ground up, quite literally.
Yeah. It just makes sense. I wanted to just do everything. That's why when Haltech is you try and make the best of the best. So
And now you got a flex fuel, a true flex.
Yeah,
So literally
that's
runs E91, whatever you want to do. So, you know, hey, I can't get E85 where I'm at. I can put some 91 in it, flex this over, just like you regular would. And you wouldn't even have to, you don't have to touch a tune. You don't have to touch a
Yeah.
dial. You don't have to do anything crazy. Automatically just does it. And
Yeah.
so same thing. You go from 91 back to E. It'll flip back over, flip over that way as well. So
yeah, that's a big part because we didn't have flex fuel before. It was just straight E, and yeah, just like that. But
yeah, stock ECU just has its limitation, and obviously with those guys that are BK1 3.8, this is a new route of going. And yeah, the Haltech, you look at it price for dollar, yeah, it is a little bit expensive, but
Yeah.
there's a lot built in that package. If you said, hey Travis, I want to boost this motor later on, it already is preset for boost, so we could boost the motor
Yeah.
if we wanted to later on. So there's a lot of additionals on that whole setup that's on there for room to grow. So I think honestly you got the best of both worlds and everything in
Yeah.
this, especially being obviously a little bit of the guinea pig, but
yeah, hey man, I want to be so like that title of that first cam Genesis. I don't know. I really wanted it, so
and you got it.
I
'Cause
guess I got it.
I still remember the day that when you sent me that first cammed Korean car making 330 or whatever it was at the wheel in Korea, whatever it was 10 years ago or something like that. And my goal was my goal was to beat that for you, and I think we absolutely demolished that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially because of the fact that we did it on Mustang dyno. So people were gonna knock it. Oh, it's not a dyno jet or a mainline or a dyno comp, or there's all kinds of different dyno options. But it's why they called Mustang dynos a heartbreak.
Yeah,
it's a heartbreak dyno.
Yeah, that's why I'm only just gonna do like another like dyno jet just to see a different video of like both dynos and all this, and for people that like to see numbers or whatever. But I don't know. It's just looking where it started with just full bolts on E85, the wheel HP of that, and then the wheel HP after cams, heads, and everything done to it. 74 wheel. It's a lot.
It's a good gain. And like I said, I mean, obviously we did a lot of serviceable items. Like I told you, if we're going to be in this thing, it makes sense. Let's do some timing chains, some guides, tensioners, typical general, what would be preventative maintenance.
Yeah, it's an old motor, so I was like, yeah, go ahead, bro. Everything that you think is good, I'm down, like, you know.
And that's the thing is I'm not going to try to cut corners. I've done that before with customers, and it's like, hey, my cam gears are bad. Well, you asked me to reuse them, and we reuse them. Yeah. And guess what? You got to pay me to reopen the motor when we could have just done it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things you can take with what you want. I get budget has to be there, but it has to make sense too. If you can do everything while you're there, that makes sense. Because the cost doesn't change. The labor's still the same. It's just the fact that now you have to pay a little bit additional for some parts. You know, that makes sense. So honestly, I mean, like I said, it's basically a whole new remotor. I mean, the only thing that's stock original is the short block, but I already did the numbers for everything on that, and everything came out beautifully. And you have all those numbers, and you've seen all that, so you know that short block is still healthy to this day.
Yeah, and like I said, that motor has, I don't know, I want to say maybe 110 miles on it, so it's a old
110,000 110,000
on there. My trans is like 143 right now.
I could feel it in the trans. I was like, this man needs a new trans.
I've been telling him to, like, bro, I don't remember, but I was like, yeah, I need to upgrade my trans because gen trans, they're fucking garbage.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on something for that for us, and that is in the works, and so we'll be getting that finalized. I'm actually testing that out, so we can get that all done, and it'll apply to any of the V6 motors, so PK1 or PK2. But yeah, I'm looking on the whole package for that. A lot of people want to do the automatic stuff. Yeah, there's built options out there for that as well, but the manual, you really don't have an option. It's either go custom, pay stupid money because it's a one-off, or even OEM rebuild it's about as OEM as Hyundai is going to be. You're going to get the quality with whatever you get. And so you don't even know what you're going to get until you actually get into it.
Exactly.
But at that point, it just makes sense. I'm going to swap the trans and be done.
Well, bro, thank you for sitting here with me.
My pleasure.
Thank you for taking the car in and all this extra time, all this extra shit that we had to do.
Yeah.
But we finally did it. I'm happy with the car. I'm happy you helped me a lot.
Gotcha.
Like, even extra shit that's, like, not on paper. Like, he hooked it up. Like, you know. But I'm happy with the car. I'm happy that it's running good. You know. So I guess from here we're just gonna keep going.
Keep going. Make it.
Yeah.